How are you?
That's our question for you this evening. How are you, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Tuesday Night Watch Hangout. I'm joined by a new member of our group, Jeff, Modern Watch Guy ATX from here in Austin. He is one of the folks that runs the Austin ATX Watch Society, and we're glad to have him with us, and we'll tell you why he's with us in just a minute. Our normals, Jen and Blake, are here as well. We hope everyone out there is okay. We've got a whole 10 of you watching so far. So come on, call your friends, get on those other streams and say, hey, the Watch Hangout is live right now and you need to get there right away.
Right meow.
Right now.
So convincing.
That's right. That's right. I order you to. No,
everybody's dropping everything they're doing right now. I can imagine.
Right now. The ghost of Yiddish Gambino is on. I just want to talk watches. Well, that's what we're going to do. And where are you, bud?
I know.
You're supposed to be on here too. Get on here,
Get
man.
in here, Gambino.
AB is in. What you talking about? Watches.
Don't you have like 12 watches to unbox, Gambino?
Yeah, I think so.
In a minute.
Didn't you just restock?
I know, right?
I'm sure he's got a bunch that he hasn't.
He claimed he did. Yeah.
Yeah. Collector Invest is in
to unbox, but
yo, Kino Pravda 222. We might bring that up. We talked about that a lot on Sunday, but we might bring it up tonight as well. I've got it on the list. Yes, 12 Cartiers. That is what Yiddish Gambino has. Darth Simon is here. How many unboxes is Gambino doing? If he does 15, I'll stay. You have to stay anyway because it's a great show. We're going to be talking about a bunch of new releases. We'll bring the 222 up, but the big one today, of course, is the Omega Speedmaster 2 meteorite dial moon phases with a calendar and all kinds of stuff like that there. We've got Marco Ferrante. Can't stay but upvoted. Thank you, Marco. We certainly do appreciate it. Visit Marco on Instagram and get all of your watch needs taken care of by him. Or if you're in the Chicago area, visit him in person at Birdeen's in Chicago. Trap Vision 3D. Trap is on. Hello. Good evening, watch people. We appreciate you being here. And we'll get into a little bit of our discussion tonight. First up, new releases. We've got a bunch of new releases. Yes, and Darth Simon, or should I say Steve, reminds us Leaf cigars as well. While we're talking about that, we will just get that up for you, Mr. Steve, who is our other sponsor at Leaf Cigars. If you are a cigar smoker and need anything, Steve will take care of you. Let me tell you, he will take care of you too. When you order from him, he is with you all the way until that thing is delivered. He checks on you after it's delivered to make sure you got the right thing, to make sure you enjoy the smoke, everything else. Steve is fantastic. So check him out. Trap, I saw that Omega Speedmaster. Well, Trap, that's why Jeff is here, because he has been at the Omega Boutique today, and they have both the new ones. And so we're going to get Jeff's opinion. Let me bring him up so folks can see what they look like in case you haven't already, but I bet you have. There's both of them, the darker one and the one that I like the best, at least in pictures, with the blue subdials and blue bezel. But Jeff, you've been over at the Austin Omega Boutique. They had them. You've seen both of them. What do you think of them in person?
Yeah, I mean, I was really impressed. I think I really enjoyed them. I don't mind the bulk. I mean, they're definitely on the bulkier side of even all the Speedmasters. Not quite to the dark side size in terms of the 44 1/4. They're a 43 millimeter, so little in between the Moonwatch and those. But I think they're a great yin and yang pair. I think that goes well for people who like one or the other. I think the dark one in some lighting, I think can lose some of the detail of the meteorite. So it could be a bit more stealthy on whether it's a meteorite dial. And then on the lighter one, it's just a great texture of meteorite, obviously unique to each piece. And then for me, as much as I really don't need to know what the moon phase is in Argentina, it's a really cool look having the two hemisphere moon phases. I've always loved how IWC does that on the Top Gun moon phases. I just think it's a great look. I don't think it's necessarily for utilitarian purposes, but it's just a really cool way to put that function into a watch, in my opinion. So generally speaking, and then I'm wearing my Speedy now. That bracelet is one of the most comfortable bracelets to wear in the game right now, I think. And I'm a huge fan of I guess it's been out for 3 years now or so. This more modern tapered bracelet that's quasi presidential kind of style to it. I don't know a better way to say it. I'm sure there's a more technical way to call it. But I love this bracelet. It's super comfortable. So I'll stop there.
No, so let me ask you one thing, because the first time I saw this watch in the picture, I wasn't looking all that closely, and I said, I saw the calendar around the subdial, and I said, whether they not put on a moving seconds hand, which of course they did, but it shares that subdial. What did you think of that? I'm not a big fan of that, but what did you think of it seeing it in person?
It's super legible, so you can put extra detail into it, and you can still really see what you're trying to see out of it, in my opinion. So it didn't really register with me, good or bad, just was interesting. I felt like all of the details, it's a watch that I think you can sit and look at for an hour and still have things that you're going, oh, I didn't notice that, or I didn't notice the one I was looking at, the texture around 12 o'clock radically shifted from the texture around the rest of the dial, and it's just a piece of rock that they're dealing with, and the way it changed. So I think these are just incredibly intriguing to the eye and really detailed pieces without all that much human intervention to make them all that detailed. The detail's a lot of just on its own. That's how it came. I will also say, I just think I'm a sucker for blue, and the blue on this just really pops. In every little part of blue is just perfect.
Yeah, that's the one that I preferred as well when I saw the pictures. Now, is this something that, because I know all of us have seen the pictures, and when you first see the pictures, it's like, meh. Is this one of those that you really need to see in person to appreciate?
I think so, Robert. Isn't that kind of meteorite in and of itself? I feel like meteorite is in almost any watch is just, it hits you completely different when you're in person with it versus a picture of it. I look at it, maybe the meteorite Daytonas. The pictures are nice. In person, it's kind of up next level, in my opinion. And so I think that's generally, and particularly, Robert, the black. You have to see that in person, and you got to get different lighting throughout it to really get an understanding.
Yeah. We want to welcome in Ali into the building. Hey, man, how are you?
Yo ho ho, hello.
Hello. So let's go kind of go around the horn. I know, Blake, when you saw the pictures, you weren't real thrilled with it, but what do you think?
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I think for me, it just gets lost in their collection. Their already vast collection. And then additionally, I can't see past this, and I'm sorry if I'm going to ruin it for some people, but every time I look at the moon phase and the two ears, I just see a Mickey Mouse. So yeah, I would have liked it much better if the subdials were all proportionate. I think that's just maybe my design brain or creative brain. I don't know, but I'm not a watch designer. I'm sure there's a reason why they did it, but I just can't see past that. But the dial, beautiful. Colors, perfect. The subdials for me just kind of ruin it. That's it. That's all I got.
Jen, what do you think?
Well, my first question is, they've used this moon phase before on the moon swatches. Why has nobody ever pointed out before that it looks like a Mickey Mouse? I wonder why this one, for some reason, like it strikes people as that.
At the price point, I think the moon phase on the moon swatches, you can let slide a little bit more, but here this is, a tens of thousands of dollars watch,
right?
So.
It's you have 16,700 reasons for her.
Right, I know, right?
Yeesh.
And apparently, there's one up on Moda for $35,000.
Oh, I think.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Gambino was saying.
I wasn't sure
Yeah.
if he was joking or not, but
No, it looks like he said the
Just
first one.
just
Well,
wait.
Well, I mean,
they better sell it quick because like anything, that'll be for the first 2
Yeah.
weeks.
I
Yeah.
think, I mean, for me, I like the black version better. I like the color scheme better. I wish they would have done the earth phase with it. I think that would have been really cool. It would have been a different spin on the moon watch. Because again, you have all these moon phases, like, well, they've done their moon phase a million ways. You can get adventurine, you can get meteorite, you can get it any way you want. But if they would have done the earth phase, it would have only been the second watch that they've done that with, and the only official, professional version that they would have done that with. And it seems like that complication has been really received well, because I know a lot of people were like, moon swatch is okay, but I really like that earth phase. Like, I still think it's really cool. And so, it being kind of an anniversary year for this, I initially thought it was going to be a Snoopy with a meteorite dial. But yeah, for it to kind of be a special version, you got to do something different. Like, the Snoopies are cool and they stand out because they have the Snoopy stuff in them. But just your regular moon phase calendar, like, I don't know. It's a lot of the same to me.
Well said. Well said.
LC, thank you so much for the compliment. We love this channel too, and we love that you're here tonight. Come back on Fridays, Sundays, and Tuesdays. We're here each one of those days, and we hope that you will stick with us for a long time. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Mr. Ali, what do you think of this watch? Or watches?
So one, to address Jen's comments about the ears. The ears on this in particular are, because the black version of the Swatch MOONPHASE were vertical. So they didn't strike you as ears immediately because they were vertical. So they're only horizontal on the blue version of the Moon Swatch. Right. The other thing is that on the black version, they're kind of opaque and it's a uniform color. The ears really pop because there's the north-south with a different size fonts and the white font. It actually makes it look like ears. Right. And then the proportions on this, the subdial on this is ginormous.
Yeah.
And the subdials on the actual Swatch Moon Swatch were the same proportions.
Right.
Right. So vertical placement, same proportions. I actually think the design language of the Moon Swatch is better than this watch. Like, and that's a problem because I didn't think the Moon Swatch was particularly killer. In terms of Blake touched on this as well, and I've said this so many times, I have the episode where I scroll down the Aquaterra page on Omega, and you scroll and you scroll and you scroll and you scroll. Omega has so many watches in their catalog. They need to start doing what I wish the government would do, is like, if you're going to introduce something new, chop at least 2 or 3 times as many things off. Right. Because they're also not delivering. Now, I don't know how often they'll be delivering this, but like when they did the summer blue, they couldn't deliver the summer blue that everybody wanted. And pretty much any watch everybody wants, they can't deliver on time. In part because their catalog's just way, way too big. Right. So I'm not a huge fan of the release. Now, in terms of meteorite, this is, with only seeing renderings and a couple photographs, this is a good execution of meteorite.
Yeah.
You have a meteorite, unlike a number of other stone dials. Generally, all meteorites will look fairly good. But you have exceptions to the rule, which are unfortunately, say, the Pepsi meteorite dial or some of the Rolex meteorite dials, because the legibility is poor from the design. If you don't have a really good cut of meteorite, it's just going to look not great.
Yeah.
Right. I think the execution on the design here with the indices and subdials makes it so at least the meteorite will always be a solid presence on the dials, whether it's either of the 2 different pictures. So they did that right. 43 mil for me is great because I have larger wrists. I've heard that's a huge complaint, right? People don't like the size of it. I think I would like to see somebody, in particular, I want to see Omega pull off a 2-register moon phase I think these designs are too traditional at this point when you're releasing new watches if you're Omega. I think Omega needs to take some gambles and bets. Because I can just imagine this watch being released better instantly by JLC, by Vacheron, by pretty much everybody that would attempt a 3-register moonphase watch. I think Omega is in a unique position where they can experiment a little bit. They have a much wider media presence, and they can establish themselves with a new stylistic artisan impression where a lot of other people can't take that gamble. So I would have liked to have seen them try, especially since I think their 2-register Speedys are really solid 2-register entries. A 2-register, which would be an interesting configuration, but 2-register with the moonphase, I think would have been an interesting interpretation by Omega. So price-wise, everybody's going to complain about prices right now. All the prices for absolutely everybody are incredibly inflated, and they're all racing to catch up with I don't even know who. Like at this point,
I know, right? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, and well, David, welcome in. We thank you for being here tonight as well. Excuse me, along with Thelonious Monk and Jean-Claude Beaver for being here. Interesting point. When you can get a real vintage Speedmaster from the mid-'60s for less than a new Speedmaster, there's a problem. Who would want to remake when you can have a vintage piece for less money? Interesting point. Jeff, I mean, you've seen these in person. Are they worth 18 grand? That's kind of the question that a lot of us are probably asking right now.
So, well, I mean, the vintage thing is lost on me because I really dislike vintage. So I'm an all modern guy, and I'm not a vintage guy at all, and I don't get it. So I'll skip that one. But I've been trying to think about the price point. I think that even Omega probably understands that they're pushing their price point there, and it's probably back to what I think it was Ali, you said his name was saying,
yes,
testing things. I mean, let's be honest, they're testing some of those types of things too around pricing and where can they go and how much can they press into some of the brands above them. What's interesting though as well is when you think in the Swatch group, this is playing in the Blancpain space, right? And I think, I mean, I'm not a huge Blancpain guy. I respect them, but never really been desired much from that brand. But its price point, now you're in that space. Now, if Blancpain had done this level of complication and this level of dial work, it would not have been in this price point. It would have been upper 20s, low 30s, probably.
Right.
So, I think if you mentioned Vacheron, JLC, again, I think any of those, put Blancpain in that, any of them do this exact same watch, whether it's better or not, add 10 to 15,000 more for the watch on a retail basis. So, we have to constantly think that. Now, do you want to spend that money for, hey, that looks familiar.
Yeah, that's you. There you are. That's your Instagram from today.
Appreciate it. I will tell you, there's a lot of excitement about this. I mean, the amount of engagement I've had with that in a very short period of time has been, significantly better than almost anything I put up. So there's a lot of excitement around it. At the end of the day, on the price point, that's so personal. Like, someone's going to either like it or not like it at that price. A lot of people don't want to play at that price for anything. They can't play at that price or anything. So, I mean, it really is kind of a limiting factor for sure. But I guess if you put in some other brands that would do this type of a execution, there's a lot that would be priced significantly higher, I would say.
I would argue it's a horrible move on their part because they're directly competing with themselves. I would buy an Ed White 10 times over this. I'm sorry. 321 is the watch that everybody wants.
That's the whole Omega line. The whole Omega line. I've said it on the same episode while I was scrolling down the Aquaterras. The number one reason I can't buy an Omega is another Omega.
Yeah.
If they do something that, like, there's no watch which integrates everything that people compliment the most for. They release another watch, the Aquaterra line. I keep picking on that one because they release modifications to the Aquaterra line as opposed to, or new models of the Aquaterra line that should be modifications to the existing line. So and I can't unsee that, right? Now, I don't know if I would say this competes with an Ed White per se, but there's like
Price-wise, it does.
Oh no, price what? So just not wrong, right? Just not wrong that if anybody else in the Swatch group was to release this, it'd be 10 to 15K. It just would. He's not wrong, right? But the flip side is this is the exception. Omega has overpriced a lot of what I would consider more entry-level watches that and I don't know, I mean that's a good pricing strategy for them, I guess, right? But I don't know. And the other thing is he's holding them in his hand, right? Until I hold them in my hand, it's going to be hard for me to go, okay, because the bracelet, does the bracelet have vertical flex? Does it feel solid? How does the case sit on my wrist? There's so many good factors which could draw attention away from flaws, right? The perceived flaws, right? But no watch right now. Like if I'm breaking the 15K barrier, I want to watch that I'm willing to pay retail for, right? Even if I won't pay retail for it necessarily, if I'm going to break that barrier, I want to actually feel like I could pay retail for it and walk away still, happy. Seeing these two side by side to me right now, and the courtesy of Just Picture and the lighting and the black, it's no comparison. The black is just so much nicer to me. I think they could have done the Omega branding on the blues differently. The subdials to me look more disproportionate on the blue than on the black.
Something that I'm curious to see is once it does hit the secondary market, the used market, where will it be in pricing? 8K, 10K,
35.
Well,
yeah, apparently on Moda it's 35 right now.
For now.
And the pink Tudor stayed there too, right?
For now.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Once it comes to that maximum depreciation point, which is, I mean, if you guys know me, that's where I tend to buy watches. You can get the IWC Big Pilot Perpetual for 15K. Same money. So, yeah, I mean, of course, it's like a 46 millimeter, like 48 or something crazy.
Then I could wear it from my neck and look like Flavor Flav.
You could, you could wear it as an ankle monitor. But no, I mean, the price
is a perpetual calendar. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
getting a lot of bang for the buck there.
Much more complicated. I mean, this movement is nothing new, right? From Omega, so it's just probably just a modification to a subdial from the Speedmaster MOONPHASE. So, I mean, it is what it is, right? So, and the Mickey Mouse.
I think there were so many things that they just didn't either ignored or were out to lunch. I don't know. Like they just released the Spyrate system last year. Brand new movement. Everybody was raving about it because it makes it easier for it to be regulated. And then they turn around and make another brand new movement. Like the 3861 is going to be the second choice for people if they don't get a 321 or they don't get the Spyrate. Why are you introducing another movement? You're just bifurcating everything even more than it already is.
I think we only care about that. I don't think you walk in Watches or Switzerland Boutique and you actually talk about the movements. Most of the boutique, even the Omega boutique folks aren't going to have the slightest clue. We cared about that, but I don't know that. Let's compare it to a Daytona buyer, right? If you're a Daytona buyer, you've been waiting for Daytona for 3 years, right?
Yeah.
And this watch comes out. This is a departure from the Daytona. Like the other Speedmasters, if you wanted a Daytona, you want a Daytona, right? Unless maybe you want a 321, but like in your hardcore watch, you want a Daytona. And if the Zenith Chronomaster can't pull you away because you want the Daytona, the 321 can't pull you away because you want the Daytona. You look at this watch and you go, "Oh shit, this is something new." Like stylistically, this is something new, and Omega might be onto something there. Like I'm thinking again, we don't matter at all, right? If you take the whole of Watching 2, including Nico Leonard, including Roman Chuck, including Teddy Goldstone, we actually do not matter. The total viewerships are nothing in comparison to total sales. Right. I think, Jen, I haven't talked to you about it, but I use the Topgolf metric. I use what watches I see at Topgolf on any game, because Topgolf people go in there, half the people at Topgolf never swing the golf club. They go in there to have drinks and stuff and hang out with people.
Yeah.
Right. Or the cigar in either the cigar.
It's a social club. Yeah.
Right. So the root beer, when the root beer was at its peak, I would go to Topgolf and like every third person.
Yeah.
Right. And you go through these lineages, and the people who fight for Daytonas, this is different enough that if you're not a Daytona, like if you are not there for the Daytona and you're not there for the Daytona resale value, you're not there with a large Rolex collection, you might look at this.
Yeah.
Especially if Jeff is trying to sell it to you and go, okay, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can
see that. And, I also think that the resale on this might hold its value a little bit longer than Blake's thinking, because it is boutique only. So the availability is going to be first to those people who have Omega boutiques in their city. And obviously Omega boutiques aren't everywhere.
I also think that
maybe it will hold up.
I wanted to pull this up.
Oh, so go ahead.
Oh, I wanted to pull this up. So people saying it is a new movement. Yes, I get the concept, but essentially what they're doing is they're taking the 9904 and just reconfiguring it. So as you can see here, this is the Speedmaster MOONPHASE, the pre-existing same dial configuration, caliber 9904 versus the now 9914, which essentially just put a new dial on it and put a new MOONPHASE disc on it and call it a new movement. So yes and no. So sorry.
One is mechanical, is a mechanical. The other one's an automatic. Yeah.
I don't know. That's actually that's the way Rolex has done it for years, and we always
every brand does it. Every brand does it. So it's just not exciting,
Well, no, this is.
I didn't know it was a derivative of the other movement.
Leave this one up for a second, right? The actual. So if you take this watch, right? And I don't want to give Omega too many props because I've got a million props with it. Forget the movement for a second. You hold this watch and then you see it next to this watch. They're in two completely different classes. Like the bracelet, the case shape, the bezel dimensions, right? They're in two completely different classes, man. Like if I was just going to accept the price of this one was 11.5, and I was okay with that, which I'm not, by the way, right? If I was going to accept the price of this at 11.5 was okay, then I would totally accept the price of this at 17K is okay.
I could see that, with the meteorite dial. Yeah. You're like, yeah, of course. There's a premium for the meteorite. Yeah. So it's not too far off. Yeah. And like you said, I think you made a good point, Ollie, that people are looking for a Panda or any kind of Daytona they can get their hands on. They just jack the prices of precious metal through the roof. So those are going to be even harder to get. And it's just becoming harder and harder. So it's like, how do you reel those people in? Because right now or before, there wasn't anything to like pull them. They would just wait. They're like, that's okay. I'll wait. If I don't think I can get it within 3 years, I'll go on the secondary market and try to pull one as best as I can, but this actually gives them something at retail that they can really take a look at and go, okay, this is different enough. It's not a normal Speedmaster. It's got a nice meteorite dial. It's a bigger dial. Some people like that. I like you said, I think it hits a different note than the other Speedmasters do.
I also think they're going to be a little bit less in quantity. I don't think it's going to be hard to get, like impossible to get, but I don't think they're going to make as many as they make of the standard Speedmasters. Just the usage of meteorite alone will be a factor of that.
Yeah.
I don't even think they're going for the same customers. Sorry, go ahead.
I hate to break it to you, Jeff. Meteorite is not that rare.
I keep reading it from all the makers that they say how hard it is to get.
Jeff, which meteorite is it from?
Well, this one supposedly is, what did they call it? I don't remember all the words. You guys are all more technical on this stuff than I am, but
I didn't,
something
I didn't
like a
expect
lunar
you to-
meteorite or something
I didn't
like that.
expect you to know the answer.
They
I was
told
just
me
kinda-
today. I just haven't remembered.
Some playbook.
The Omega moon rocket went up and
Yes.
got a little bit
Yeah.
of meteorite and brought it back to Earth, and that's why it's 18 grand, folks.
That's
the same-
exactly.
It's the same people from the movie Armageddon. They did it.
Yep.
There you go.
Don
Bruce
Cleo.
Willis did it for us. Mhm.
Mitch
That's
Halpern,
right.
$2. Thank you so much, Mitch. Do you miss me yet? Absolutely, we do, and I hope your
We
voice
do.
is better soon. Speaking of which, I think he's coming in. Hey, Mitch.
Shalom.
Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
hell, man. You don't sound
Don't
any better,
strain
are
the
you all right?
voice, man.
I'm supposed to keep plugging away.
Okay.
Vocal exercise.
Uh-huh.
It's supposed to straighten itself out.
Well, let's hope.
Otherwise, it's back to the ear, nose, and throat guy.
Oh, man. Well, good luck. Stick with us.
I'll
We'll
tell you
let
what, if you're
exercise.
spending money on the if you're spending money on the ENT, you could be getting an Omega Speedmaster meteorite now.
That's
or
right.
even know. And,
It's-
and let the watch do the talking mention.
When I saw that, I thought about the memes going on Instagram of you're not actually sick, you just need a watch.
There you go.
That's right. Vimal, $2 from all the way from Canada. Nerdy space fanboys can wear 43 millimeter. This is Joma 40. Oh, for goodness sakes. Maybe. Not right now. We also want to welcome Patrick in and Von Kruel joining us. And our man Duco is in the chat this evening along with Mossy. So thank you guys for being with us as well. And Van Lux, who wants a repeat of Mitch's I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
Perfect.
You fooled me.
So there's some other new releases. Are we all done with the Omega? We want to move on to something else, or we want to
Hey,
continue a little bit with the Omega?
Robert, I did the not prepared to be on this common rookie move of not charging my phone.
Don't worry.
So rather than just
Don't worry,
dropping
man.
off randomly, I'm going to go ahead and bow out and let you guys have your show back.
Jeff, thank you so much for
Yeah.
stopping by, and we'll see you at the Omega Boutique on the 1st, man. Appreciate it.
That's right. Great meeting y'all. Thank you for having me on. I
Nice
appreciate
seeing
it.
you. Have a
See
good
you,
one.
buddy.
Bye.
Bye-bye. And we're back. And again, you can follow Jeff on Modern Watch Guy ATX. And that's why he said he's not into vintage, because he is the Modern Watch Guy. ATS.
Says it
So-
in the Instagram name.
Right there, man. Right there. So other new releases. There are some. Let me get the next one up here. From MB&F. Talking
Oh,
about
yeah, the
some
Longhorn.
expensive watches.
This is so nice.
Let's
Oh
see.
my God, it's so
Pictures
good.
loaded in here. It's gorgeous.
Take my spleen and my kidneys and my
Oh, there you
liver. I
go.
don't care.
Spleen has almost no market value, unfortunately.
Whatever. They can still take it. Kidneys, liver, lungs.
Then you'd be zombie, Jen.
I know, right?
Zombies.
But I
is
have
long-
a dope
but-
one.
As long as there's an
Yeah.
arm and one wrist left.
That's right.
I think there's enough comorbidities on this panel that we're all pretty close to zombie.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Jokes on the buyer. The organs aren't in great shape. Exactly.
This is
So
such
how-
a nice watch.
how
This is
mu-
I really don't like many of MB&F's watches. This is one of them, which is just it's impossible not to like.
How much of the organs do you have to get rid of for this? I'm scared to even
It's-
find out.
It's probably.
I don't know. Let me find
120
out.
more.
I'm not worried about it. I'm just gonna get rid of your organs, Blake. You wake
I
up in
think
ice
it's
bath.
Like 168K.
Oh, I think I saw it
Oh
up there.
wow!
Scroll up. I think I saw it.
168
Oh, you might not
something.
wake up. You might not
Oh.
wake up then.
Scroll up. I think you scrolled past it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
168.
Oh, 168.
168
So
and
one-
only
so
20
190
pieces.
Yeah, 190, 193 US.
Who's the movement? Who's the movement? I mean, it's in house.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
assuming?
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that Furlan Mari perpetual.
Yeah, I think
like
all
the other
MB&F
one.
stuff is in house, or at least it is now.
Yeah.
Wait, it kind of reminds you of the Furlan Marie.
The Furlan Mari perpetual movement. Like look, like it's got the other one, not this one, the other one. With the
long
four,
one.
the four subdials. Go
Yeah,
back.
the Longhorn model.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
that one.
Yeah, that one. Which is,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
it's
the
nice
one they
to
call
sell.
the Longhorn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, and the other
So
one's
all
a
of you
dual
University of
tar,
Texas
triple
graduates
time
out there
things.
need to buy this.
Yeah.
This is just
So that's
Wow.
our next new one. It's gorgeous, though.
yeah.
And we'll remind you, are we having a race tonight, Mr. Ali?
I won't be around long enough tonight. Sorry.
Okay.
Ah, okay. Well, if you do want a super chat, we'll get you into the next race, which will be most likely on Friday. We'll get you in there. So those two folks who have super chatted, you'll be in the race on Friday, along with whomever else decides to super chat this evening. So we hope you will stick around and at least do some watchdog with us. But if you feel like super chatting or joining the channel, please join the channel as well. We'll get you a race entry that way. Or just using your member chat. If you're already a member, use your member chat. That'll get you a race entry as well. So I think we're all in agreement that we love this watch but can't afford it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Wait, okay, Blake said this is disturbing me. Blake, you need to tell me which Furlan Marie you're talking about. Not this one.
Yeah, I think there's one more, if I'm not mistaken. Just at a glimpse. Like, I mean, just immediately thought of that, but I take that back now that I see them side by side. But
I could see like the subdial like size,
subdial,
like it
skeleton.
kind of strikes you as the same. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
that
I mean,
part of it.
a lot of these brands. I mean, obviously, MB&F is on a different caliber, right? But a lot of these brands are essentially buying tourbillons, calling them their own tourbillons. I mean, look at Richard Mille. I mean, who has their own in-house calibers, but essentially they're just reworking other people's movements, and you know what I mean. It's just a lot of that going on. But yeah, take that back. Scratch that.
Want to welcome in the captain into the chat. Captain, if you feel like hopping on, be my guest.
Captain.
Because we'll
I do
be
like how
here
they put
for another little bit.
I do like how they put the balance wheel like right in the center of the
Yeah,
dial.
in the middle.
Yeah, so I've never seen that
So
before.
cool.
And this is just it's done so well. I mean, at 190, I don't know. The thing is that if you can actually, they're probably all sold by now. Is my guess. But if you can
Yeah,
actually
since
get
there's
your
only
hands on it-
welcome the captain into the stream, eh, Cap?
Hey, Catfish.
Hey.
How you doing,
So
Robert?
the contemporary here is going to be like a Grubel Force, a year work, stuff like that. And frankly, so Grubel there's like a pause for Grubel right now, right? But like as a contemporary to some of the others in that range at retail, again, not at aftermarket, at retail, this is one of the better designs. It just is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is most people's the legacy machine, you know, the 001 and the 010. Those are the ones that everybody wants. The Evo is the same way. They're unbelievable.
Cap, what was your take on the Omega, by the way?
Overpriced. Look, I said this to somebody earlier. For me, with Omega, I'm more of a 3-register, just a Speedmaster type of guy. I mean, the 2 registers are nice. All the other different model lines and collections of Omega. There's some nice ones there too, but it's all about the Speedy as far as I'm concerned. So I agree with, I think what Jen said about a 321, different watch, but I would go in that direction, or any other special Speedy.
Yeah,
The
new one, it didn't bowl me over. I don't hate it. I don't love it.
What it says about Meteorite, I guess it's different Meteorite too. It's not the Gibeon that Rolex, uses.
I think Rolex brought all that up.
Right. But I mean, look at the price difference. It's $20,000, I think, just for that Meteorite. If you look at the Pepsi. So to me, and we've had this conversation before, is the Meteorite that different, or is it just Rolex being Rolex, right? And upcharging on their Meteorite.
I think we see that they might be a bit pickier about the cuts that they use for their dials as well.
No, I don't think they are. And the reason I don't think they are is that some of their other stone dials, like they warn you, like we can get it eventually, and when we get it, that's the one you're going to get. Like, and some of them look like trash. I don't know.
They really do. They really do. And you wait that long, and you have a big spend. And I think Marco said this on his one of his Berdine videos that. Now, if you go pre-owned, and let's say that's a piece you're coveting as a
Oops, we just lost Cap.
We lost his audio.
Here we go. Let's try this. No, I
He
can't.
muted himself by accident.
No, I'm back. I'm back.
There we go.
Okay,
there we go.
You're back. Okay, cool.
The phone just cuts in. I don't know why, but I don't know where I was, but like 50 to 52,000 is a lot of money. And now you don't have to wait 2 years and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to get that Meteorite that you want. You could just try to find a nice example, whatever appeals to you, whatever aesthetic or, cut you like. If you could see a few of them, and you can, or at least on video. Anyway, I don't want to talk more about Rolex.
Hold on, dude. Speaking of aesthetic, so Nathan dropped a watch in the chat. This is a perpetual calendar.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up and bring him on.
What the hell is this?
Oh, Wittnauer perpetual calendar.
It says 1970.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, Collector Invest, by the way. Nathan, how are you? Your mic is funky again, sir, but we'll talk. Let's talk about this watch for a little bit. Why do you, I mean, it is interesting looking. What made you want to look at this? And I guess, are you considering getting it?
Don't.
Considering seeing what it looks like on the back. I never seen it on the back of it, how the mechanics was.
This has got to be quartz, dude.
Yeah. Well, it says automatic on it.
Automatic.
It's an automatic.
It's not an open case back.
Yeah.
It's a sealed case. What the hell is this? How do you read that?
Yeah, the straight on view is pretty bad.
I'm just like wondering how you read it though, but it's kind of cool and weird looking.
No, it's terrifying looking, dude. No, I can't look at it.
Ollie.
Ollie.
It is a little bit. He's just doing, look, he's warning the chat. If you look at it too long, you might go blind. So,
or you'll find the nuclear codes.
Yep.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this. Look at how first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Like the way they do the dates, and then they can't fit all the months. Then I guess this could only be read through the year 2000. So it's a perpetual through the year 2000. I don't think this was designed to go beyond the year 2000. Man, this is wild.
When I see it, I just want to go beep, boop, beep.
I never seen it before. I was like,
me neither.
Yeah.
But some things aren't meant to be seen. Like, I think that's why we haven't seen it.
Listen, that could be a cool casino watch. That could be something at the blackjack or craps table that you can rock.
Only the golden nugget.
So, but one thing you got to remember, Nathan, is if it was just designed through the year 2000, it no longer works right.
Ken nailed it. We're thinking the same.
I mean, I'll say it might be like kind of like what do you call that term?
A waste of money?
A mistake.
Dress up like a 70s type of person, and you need some kind of 70s watch or something.
A cosplay watch? That's a very expensive cosplay watch, man.
Yeah. So what are we looking at on moving on? I did want to give a shout out to our new panelist, Christian Bale. Shout out to Christian Bale. Welcome.
Yeah.
Christian. I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
Robert, I apologize. I had blood work in the morning, so I need to go.
Yeah, man, I certainly appreciate that. I've got the same thing on Friday, so good luck to you tomorrow, man. Good luck.
Good luck.
You guys have a good
Take care,
night.
buddy.
Take care.
I have podiatrist tomorrow night. Anyone else want to share their medical
I
history?
had blood work today.
I have cardiac rehab tomorrow.
Pull up the result.
I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. So.
Oh, okay.
We
We're
told
all-
you all that we were all busted up on this panel. We warned you.
Welcome to JJ's Medical Center.
That's
Yeah,
right.
there you go.
JJ's home for the elderly.
Yeah,
At least we're alive, right?
that's true.
Yep.
We're above ground. Anyway, this watch. So what are we looking at here? Perpetual calendar. Anything else? It looks like there's a bunch of things happening. Oh, power reserve. What else?
Yeah. On the right. I
I'm
don't
not
know
a
what
huge
the
fan
left.
of this
What's
watch.
the
I don't know
left?
why. I'm not
What's
loving
the one on
this.
the left?
I don't know. I like the watch. I just don't like the. I don't know if you call it skeletonization of it. The colorway maybe is what's
Yeah.
not appealing to me.
Yeah, I thought it was a nice looking watch. It's not something that any of us will ever get, but it's certainly nice to look at.
What's the do we know what the retail, what's the cost of this?
It's like 170, 180.
Yeah, something like that. Probably almost 200 with tax.
And only 25 of them are being made.
Yeah, I don't know. I like some of those horological machines.
Oh yeah,
of MB&F. Those are really interesting, cool.
Yeah, those are cool.
Unbelievable. Are we gonna have we spoken about it, or are we planning to talk about the 222?
We've got it up. I can bring it up next if you want to. Let's see.
Before we do that, because I think that's a great finale. I just saw it. I think this may have broke today, or maybe I'm wrong, and one of you guys and or Jen may know. The Oris released a 60th anniversary Divers 65.
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh,
I
Was
don't
that today?
know that I've seen it.
let me see if
I saw a
I've got it.
picture.
Hold up. Pull it up.
Today too, and then I saw a short little video. It's going to be tough to find, and it's got the retro. I guess if you want to call it patina, I don't know if it's patina, but the retro styling.
Yeah, I've got it. Hang on.
Original, and I think they discontinued the 65, didn't they, Mitch, for a bit? And then they pulled this one out of a hat. No date, 40 millimeter. So I love this watch, and I gifted the one that I had, to my nephew. It was the blue, same style, but it was a 38 with a date and the blue dial. I think it was a blue with this retro 36912 and the
Right.
markers.
Yeah, it looks a bit like the Timex Marlin.
Yeah, with the numbers on there.
Yeah.
Very similar look. Yeah.
So this one is 40 millimeters, better size for those that don't want a 38, maybe have a little bit of a larger wrist. And the retail is $2,500. And those tend to, it's not limited or anything, and they tend to go down over time, I think, in price.
Yeah. So that's what the original looked like right there.
Okay, well, it's got a date next to the 3.
And that's
clean.
That's a no date.
Art, man. It's got a double domed sapphire crystal, which is, I don't know, and many other watches that have that. I'm sure there's plenty out there, but I don't really know them. But when I had this, that was really a standout. The double domed sapphire.
Yes, it looks like something that Ali might be interested in because it's 3 hands, no date.
Yeah.
I'm interested in it because I missed that watch, and
it's a nice one.
It's $2,500. It's not bad at all for that.
I'm thinking Ming for this.
I would do it.
Heck yeah, I would do it too.
I would do it. If I can. I don't know if I'm getting that for the Ming at this point. Probably not. But it's close enough to get, because I like the 40 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 40 is a good size for you too.
Blake.
Yep.
You've been quiet. You're eyeing this thing. I don't know what's going through your head.
It reminds me a lot of the what was it? The I'm drawing the Yema.
Oh.
The Yema with the 12369.
Yeah.
Like accents. I don't know enough about Oris to talk about it, to be honest. I mean, I think it's a great looking watch. But it just gives me that Yema, and I don't know again, like where the history lies, like if that design language came from Yema, if it came from Oris, or but yeah, it's a good looking watch. And I mean, if you're gonna put this next to the Yema, it makes it a little bit more challenging if you're looking for that same design language. The Superman.
Yeah, Yema Superman. I know someone who had it, loved it, then got rid of it. I don't love the way they do that crown. What is it? The crown guard that the Yemas have.
Yeah,
it's just unique for Yema, right? And they're what are they? Yema's Italian, if I'm not mistaken.
French.
Yeah.
All right, I gave it a shot, but it's not. It's not Swiss. That I know.
Gave it a shot.
Well, I think I mean, I don't, that has their in-house caliber, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you know how it is, right?
Sure.
Like,
well, French though, so now I recall, okay, French Navy, I think, used the Yema watches. Yema's got a strong history. What I like about Oris though, is Oris is independent. A lot of people don't know that.
So is Yema.
There you go. So it is that's a nice side by side, actually. Like, I like that.
You want to pull the Yema up, and we'll see if someone wants to.
I like the bezel on this a lot with the dial combo. The bezel is definitely giving me like Submariner vibes. Like they hit that pretty well.
Well, the bezel's I think it's aluminum, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So that might be a miss for that price point. And I don't know if it's just me, but I'm not a fan of the riveted bracelet. So
the bracelet does look a little
too dirty.
When I had mine, I wore it on the rubber strap, which came with the piece. And I actually didn't have a bracelet. I just got it on the rubber, and that was it. So this comes with bracelet and with the rubber,
and
which is pretty cool.
What's up with the dial text here? It says Oris waterproof anti-shock 26 joules.
It's calling back to the original.
Yeah. See, again, I just don't know enough.
Which is interesting. So to put waterproof on the watch, on the case, on the dial, I should say, is interesting because everyone talks about water resistance. They never want to say waterproof.
Right.
But back in the 70s, waterproof was the language everybody used.
Yep.
Right. And so it's interesting. This is only 100 meters, just so you know. And that was always something that irked me a little bit because for me, I was like, okay, it might be, in fact, I think it is, ISO certified as a diver if it meets certain criteria. So I think 100 is okay, but I typically like 200 plus for a diver's watch.
Yeah.
To call it divers, even though I think ISO certification, if you have a kind of the legible timing bezel or diver's bezel, there's a couple of couple of different criteria, but I think 100 works. And there might be screw down crown.
Yeah, you have to have the loom pip.
Yeah, the loom, right?
You have
to have the dimers, bezel, the unidirectional bezel.
And I think, Mitch, we're getting some echo off of you. Let me see if it is you. No, it's somebody else we're getting echo off of. Is it me?
Might be Cap.
Is it hello?
Hey.
No.
Usually it's not me.
There's no noise here. So.
I am hearing a little bit of a Darth Vader in the room.
Yeah, well, just call me Mel Torme.
The Velvet Frog. Yes, I know it's fog, but in your case, it's Velvet Frog. In my case, it's just frog. Yes.
So
I don't hear it anymore, so we're fine.
So Robert, Von Krul raises a good point, or an interesting choice. The Big Crown Pointer Date, which is also a very nice watch. I like that.
Yeah.
They released that. That's a really nice watch. And this one. So now you have a choice. Now you have to make a decision.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more of a dive watch guy, so I would probably choose this one.
I would too, yeah.
And I like I really like the look of this. And you were talking about the double dome cap. You can really see that on this particular picture because of the distortion, especially down by the 6.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that dome really, really well.
It's got the anti-reflective coating as well.
Yeah. And it looks like it's pretty good because the studio lights are not really impacting except off to over by the 9 o'clock position. So that's really good.
I wonder if you could buy this off of Oris's website or how that works.
Yeah, I think you can. I've got it pulled up.
Somebody want to side by side the Yema too. I'm curious.
Do you want to look that up for me, Blake?
You can buy it off the site.
Bring it up.
Yeah, 1 second here.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Cool. I hear you on that.
Tabs. Stumbling around here. As you saw my flops on my earlier pull-ups.
Well, don't be a flop.
All right, so let's see this.
While we're doing that, we'll see what other pictures they have. And one thing too, Cap, if this is their in-house movement, the cool thing about their in-house is that comes with a 10-year warranty.
Unfortunately, Robert, I think from what I read, it's and then the older ones too was the Salida.
Oh, okay. Well, if it's the Salida, then I think you still have. I think they still offer 3 years on that, I believe. But they're in-house, they offer 10, so that's kind of
Caliber 733-1. It's an in-house.
Yeah, that's the Salida.
Oh, is this Salida? Okay.
Yeah. The in-house is the Caliber 400.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I got it pulled up here.
All right. If you can zoom it a little bit. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same. I mean, same design language. You got the 12369, the little whatever you want to call it, 70s fonts or whatever. Honestly, I think the bracelet. Oh, they're trying to sell me one already. The bracelet looks better, right?
You
got your own in-house caliber.
Yep.
This is the movement.
That looks pretty nice.
Solid movement.
Yep.
70 hours of power.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep. 70 hours of power. And then I think you get sapphire bezel. So this one's like 2300 yeah, 2300 versus what was the Oris? Like
2500. And yeah, this was not the one I was thinking of, and like you may know it, the one with those funky crown guards. It's a weird thing they have, or it's on the date. Actually, they had like the one that has a date on it. It looks totally different. This is not. This is much more of a
This one. So this is just an old Superman.
I was thinking,
Just
you
a
know what? I'm
clean
probably
3-hander.
thinking of an older version that has there's one with a date, and I'm not seeing it on this.
It may have been they were doing a bunch of like blowout stuff over like the holiday.
Oh, this is it. All right, let's take it. Yeah, see that thing that it has over there with that extra metal?
Yeah. This is the watch that I actually was like,
okay.
I mean,
this is
pound for pound, it's like the same watch. I would think it's cheaper, and you get I mean, you don't have to worry about the aluminum bezel fading. I mean, you get arguably just as good of a movement. And you got legit heritage. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a toss up, right?
Yeah.
It's tough. It's really tough, really. I think it comes down to aesthetically, which one speaks to you more. If they're the same, I mean, do you want Swiss? Does that matter versus the French, uniqueness of a French brand? If that, matters to me, but it may not matter to anyone else.
Yeah.
And this looks like it's what, 300 meters? Go up the last picture right there.
Yeah, I believe you're right. It's 300.
Wow, that's a big difference.
And it's thin because of that micro rotor.
Yeah, super thin. I think
overpriced.
There's your double dome. Cap.
And this was limited edition out of 300 with the sapphire case back.
This is getting harder and harder. What it tells me, I mean, the Oris used to be, when I got mine, I think it was $1,000 all day. The older versions are going to be closer to like 1,000 or 1,200. So
what was the case? The case
dimensions? 38. It was 38.
So the Oris is a 38.
But
the new one's 40.
Okay, so 39, and it's 10 millimeters thick.
Wow, that is so thin, especially for a 300 meter diver.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And you got that sapphire case back, baby. What's up?
Those specs are pretty good, to be honest. I want those, but I want it to say Oris.
Oh, yeah.
And I want the Oris style. I want that Oris style.
Okay, so you like the Oris style better.
So spec for spec, right? This clearly blows it out. So you're getting a better bezel. I mean a better bracelet, in my opinion. It doesn't say Oris, so you're essentially paying what, $400 for $350. Sorry, for the Oris branding for a watch.
And you get the Holstein. You get the Holstein or Holstein Bear. You get the Bear.
You do get a Bear.
Oris Bear is important. It cannot be discounted.
I mean, so if that's what you're paying for, go for it.
I mean, listen, you know the way that works. When you buy a Rolex and you put it against Omega and you go spec for spec, you could argue Omega's right there, right? If not, some people may even say it's better. But you pay for the brand, right? But you're paying, you can't get a Pepsi at retail.
I also like the gray dial a little bit more too.
So that's good.
I mean, I'm not gonna buy either of them, so I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But just we're here to debate, right? We're proposing alternatives.
It's alternatives, right? It's not even personal decision.
When I saw this pulled up, I was like, "That is a Yema."
See, and you get the Oris on the crown too, Cap. Come on!
Wow.
And on the case back.
The bracelet, the bracelet's the loss for me. That's the loss leader right there. I mean, I could deal with the dial, I could deal with the bezel, I could deal with the movement, but I think just that 5-link design that comes on the Yema just looks a little bit more retro.
Right.
And
so, in the words of Yiddish Gambino, would you say that the Yema speaks to you?
It does, but I'm not going to buy it still.
See, well. So we're not hearing voices. These things actually do speak.
I mean, I'm buying neither of them. So
I can be cajoled into buying the Yema at some point.
All right, let's go to 222.
Yeah, I'm trying to see here real quick.
Does it speak French?
Yes, what the
Oui,
father.
Allons au fond de la patrie.
It does speak French.
I am your father. How was that?
No, I was trying to see. was trying to see if it said, oh, there we go. 12.8 thick. So it's pretty thin too there, Blake.
2 millimeters, 2.8 millimeters difference.
There you go.
That's almost a whole 3 millimeters. That, especially if you're looking at it this way, when we all talk about, oh, that's a 40, a Rolex will be like, oh, it's a 40 this year, it's a 41 next. Oh, it's a huge difference. Now these proportions are perfect.
So here is the 222. We brought this up a little bit on Sunday, although they hadn't officially released it until yesterday. And so I'll get kind of first impressions now that we've all seen it and had 24 hours to ruminate on it. What do you guys think about this?
Yes, please. Can I buy one? Can I get one?
You probably. Do you have a VC boutique in Las Vegas?
I do.
Well, there you go.
They probably won't sell me one. I think they hate me.
We don't have one in Austin, so I don't even have a place I can go see this.
Well, you can come. You can come.
I can come to Vegas.
And I will take you.
Perhaps I am a watch Philistine, but it doesn't do much for me.
I mean,
is good.
Honestly,
I probably can't afford it.
Yeah, none. I don't think any of us can afford it. At least I know I can't. Captain can, because he's big and powerful, right?
Oh yeah, mighty.
But I think are you gonna
powerful?
Are you gonna try and pick one of these up, Cap? I could already see you.
I'll tell you this. So 37 for the sport steel model is probably too small. I thought about the gold one before in the past. That could work as a day date replacement. Well, it's at a much higher price point than my 36 millimeter day date. So to pay 60 plus for a 37 millimeter, gold 222, I mean, that's a big stretch. That's a big leap that I'm not, ready, willing, or, even able to take. Maybe able, but I'm not ready or willing to do that. Having said that, I like the gold and what looks like a cream dial. I love those creamy looms, creamy dials. On the gold one, I love that color combo. I like this powdery matte blue. That's beautiful. Look at that.
There's the gold for you.
Yeah, totally.
If you wear it, you automatically become Brad Pitt. But this one, so what Brad Pitt did was he got an allocation or a special older version of this.
Yep.
So
yeah, VC found it for him and gave it to. Well, he bought it, I guess. Maybe.
So that was the move to get ahead of this. I don't know what those were going for, but I think they've gone up in price. I guess when this release was either leaked or announced, then they're going up. People are trying to grab those. I like the powdery blue. I understand it, I guess. And I'm sure we'll see down the road maybe a slate gray or a darker gray version that they did when they first released these back in, what was it, 76 or 77.
Would you have preferred, as far as the blue goes, to see more of a blue like on your VC cap instead of the powdery non-reflective?
Well, no, for two reasons. One, selfishly, the overseas blue there's been enough damage and carnage done to the price of that piece. So any further similarities would just eat into people getting rid of their overseas and getting this. But no, I think they did the right thing because they don't want to cannibalize and use the same type of blue. I think this is more this is similar to the original. I think they were trying to stay true to the original colors, even though I think the original may have been darker, a little bit darker. So no, I like this. I don't, blue is, everyone does blue. That's the thing. The sports watch with blue. Very predictable, and they're going to sell out of these because they're not going to make massive quantities. No. I don't think. But I think this is here to stay. I mean, this is going to be in their collections for a long time. I see different, the dial variations in the next year or so. Maybe next year they come out with the slate gray, or they can do a lot of things with this piece. So it's perfect for maybe a wrist size around 7 or lower, 7 inches.
Okay, CMOSO.
They say that it wears more like a 39 because of the way it integrates into the bracelet and stuff. I don't know. I've never had one on. But, if that is the case, then it might do for a little bit larger. I mean, I could wear it. If it wears like a 39, I wouldn't mind wearing it. And I'm 7.5.
I would have liked to see more. Sorry, Mitch. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that I'm 7.5 also, and 39 is my new pathway to smaller watches.
Yeah.
Something that I think is disappointing about this release is the bracelet, right? So obviously the bracelet's awesome, but why doesn't it have a micro adjustment? Like, it is 2025. If you are releasing watches without a micro adjustment, just stop releasing watches. Hot take.
There you go. What do you think, Jen?
I mean, I'm a fan of the 222. I don't know that I would go the stainless steel route for that price. I would probably, Gambino was saying you can get an original 222 in steel and gold for $25K. That's truly limited. They made these watches from 78 to 86, and I think there was maybe 500 of each made, is what he said. Gold and two-tone. So, they can be gotten on the open market. I would rather have white gold personally than a stainless steel at that price. I would, save up for the gold instead of that.
Yeah, and I wonder if maybe they could be looking at doing that next. I don't know. It took them 2 years to come out with the steel version when they did the gold remake 2 years ago in 2022, or actually 3 years ago now, almost. So I don't know if they would come out with a white gold next year after or not.
Another question I have too is Vacheron has been known to play games before. Like, if you look at the overseas, like during COVID, like they were, you can't, it's impossible for you to get overseas, and so are they going to do this? Is this going to be one of the carrots that they dangle, right, to get you to enhance your spend with the brand? Kind of like the 5811 or any Patek, any steel sports Patek. Is this going to be one of those carrots that they dangle? I would think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
So that even makes it less attractive, I think, for me personally. So
get a 1921, a Historique America 1921, get a 1942, get a Corne de Vache, and then
you'll be eligible to buy it.
They're in the game, man. They're in the game. It's a second sports piece for them, right? And I'm sure they have others as well. But this is I don't know. This is pretty cool. I mean, I know it's probably the same as the original with that automatic on the bottom. And what's interesting is AP with the Royal Oak. My 15300 has automatic, but then when they did the 15400 and later, they took off the automatic. So it's interesting that this really harkens back to the original, with automatic on the dial.
Well, and not only that, but people made a big deal if it has a hacking movement. Well, it makes no difference because there's no running seconds hand, so who cares?
Right.
But the original was only a two-hander as well. So they stuck to the original on that front, along with even though they put a hacking movement in, that was on the original. There was no second hand, so no second hand on this one.
Right.
And I'd be interested to see this dial in person to see what it looks like.
Yeah, another knock I heard was 50-meter water resistance. as opposed to the overseas, which is 150. To
Right.
me, this is like a sporty dress piece versus the overseas, which is a sports watch, because it can do it all, and you have the interchangeable straps, which this doesn't have because of this bracelet. So yeah, I guess the comparison though would be the AP what the 16202.
Yeah.
I have just never been a big fan of the overseas in general.
I haven't either.
Yeah. I mean, to me, VC is sort of a dress watch brand. Call me names.
Right. No, and I would agree with you. I would agree with you. Like the models that a lot of people know them for are their dress watches. You know, the overseas was a later edition in their history, so that makes sense. I mean, when people think of VC, I think they think of the 222. And you know, it's funny you say it's only 50 meters water resistance. You know, like Blake said, it's 2025. Don't tell me you can't put a double seal on that crown and you can't put a seal on the back and on the crystal. Like,
it's just lazy. It's just lazy. They take the same bracelet, essentially just copy paste in a different material.
There's no reason for all watches to be at least 100-meter water resistant. Like, it takes a few gaskets. Like, come on.
Well, especially if you're calling it a steel sports watch.
Yeah.
You know, if you're calling it a dress watch, 50 meters is fine. You're not going swimming in your dress watch,
right?
Or at least you shouldn't. But if you're going to call it a steel sports watch, 100 meters should be minimum.
You know, but those two gaskets may decrease their profit margin by.
Oh my God!
That's it. That's exactly it.
50 is
gonna
more
make them
than
bankrupt.
I mean, 50 is though more than enough. But you have the overseas with 150 and a lot of, you know, the other features. This has the Geneva seal as well, which is the overseas has too. So that's a nice bonus.
I was talking to Kirkland. Do you guys know Kirkland from Analog Shift?
No, I don't. I've heard of I've heard of him. I don't know him.
Yeah,
she's pretty awesome. She's like does all the marketing content for Analog Shift. Like if you watch any Analog Shift YouTube videos, she'll be on them. But she made a valid point too, like the dial. Like she's like, why didn't they do something, you know, fun with the dial? Like it's just blip. And you know, I had commented to her, like I sent her a DM and I was like, it's just copy paste. It's just, you know, they want to make as much money possible by essentially just spinning up the same machines, doing the exact same shit, and instead of putting gold through it, putting, you know, steel through it, you know, and maybe, you know, painting the dial.
Do some baller baguette diamond indices on this thing, man. It's supposed to be a special version.
I would do like a patterned dial, you know, like AP has their tapisserie, you know, pattern.
I can't believe the hate, the outright vitriol on this piece. Wow.
I
want, and he likes it. Imagine he didn't like it.
No, I just think it's lazy. Come on, like that's the argument.
I don't know about lazy. That term gets thrown around way too often. But anyway, the slate gray. My opinion, I think they should have done a slate gray, very sexy dress, like stealthy, like, you know, not stealthy, maybe that's the wrong word, but classy. I don't know. The blue pisses me off. I agree with you in terms of this dress thing of Vacheron. Okay. So make it more of a dress, make it more like the overseas 2000 V that's a unicorn and no one could find in white gold. That's you know, the last price I've seen was 85,000. Nobody wanted to buy it at 85, but that thing is gorgeous.
Make a rainbow bezel version of this bitch. That's
A
what I'm
rainbow
saying.
bezel.
I wonder what they're going to do with the overseas next when in
Yeah.
Watch the Wonders, because they're releasing this now, right? Because they want to start selling this. So
Right.
Mhm.
they're not waiting.
I'm sorry, but I'm just tired of seeing like these brands essentially just reissue something or like re-release it in a different metal or like a different dial color, and then being like bow to me, you peons, you know, like we're the best brand ever, like, you know, like thank you, like let me take my victory lap right now, like come on, like I said, I like the release, I like the watch, but it's just, I'm sorry, Cap, it's lazy. It's lazy.
With all that said, if I had the money, I'd buy it because I really
Same.
like it.
Same.
I really
same.
like
Yeah.
it.
If I had the
I think
Sorry,
we'd
I
all buy
do.
it.
I want
Yeah,
that
we can
gold
sit
one
here and
now.
shit on it, but we all buy it.
I want that gold and cream now.
I
Let's hope
wouldn't.
it comes down.
Yeah, I know. Mitch wouldn't, but
I'd
I
buy
would.
one for each wrist if I could afford it, just so I could flex.
Hey, what do you think if they did it without the date, though? Wouldn't it be cleaner without?
Yes.
Yes.
I could see that,
Yes. That'd be nice.
Yeah, especially
But-
since they didn't do the dial or the date dial in the same color as the dial itself.
That's true too. Good point.
And talk
Great.
about not being lazy.
That's
right?
lazy. That's lazy.
Yeah.
That's
Talk
lazy.
about not being lazy. Take the date disc out. Put a little mechanism in there so you don't have the ghost position. Boom. That's the best you could do.
You can find $500 micro brands that have matching date discs.
Yep. Speaking of which, we're going to be talking to one, I think, next week.
Cool.
And all the date disc match.
Hey, so what do you think of that little gold Maltese cross in the bottom right corner?
That's what makes it a 222. It's not a 222 without the cross.
Could have been white. Could have been white gold.
Yeah,
Could
but they
have.
wanted to stand out.
So what do you think of it? You like it then?
It's
I can
okay.
take it or
I
leave
mean, it's
I'm
what I
indifferent.
expect. It's
Yeah,
what
I'm
I expect from a 222.
Okay.
Without that, it's a PRX.
Yeah.
And-
Facts.
Side,
Facts.
let's do a side by side. Should we go down that road?
Oh, I got it.
You got it?
I got it. Yeah. Did you see the there was a meme that was going around where it was like this watch, and then it's like, wife, we had that watch at home, and then it was like the watch at home was like a PRX
Oh God.
Yeah.
or something like that. So here we go. Well, the
This is
222
black.
yellow is white gold. It's got a white gold logo.
No, that's the 222.
Yeah, I want that watch.
That's
man.
the 222.
I wonder if I love the bracelet.
we wanted to side by side with the PRX.
Oh, I thought you wanted a side by side between the.
I don't know if I love that
PRX.
bracelet. I don't know if I love the bracelet. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how I feel about that.
Here,
bracelet.
I'll add you when you get one pulled up.
All right. We'll do. I'm gonna do the quartz PRX. How about that, guys?
Yeah, because the dials match better.
Yeah.
Pull up a blue quartz PRX.
All right, I got one. So there
And there.
there.
So which one is
I mean-
clearer? A or B?
They're
Will you stay on the same thing?
they're
A
the same watch.
or
I mean, the
B?
bezel's different, but it's the same watch.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the bezel's different. Obviously, you have the Maltese cross in the corner, and the
Right.
bracelets. The bracelet's
Right.
different.
The bracelet is different, but it's
But the basic design is,
yeah.
and what the C star that the PRX is based off of was actually released before the 222.
What
By, I think 2 years.
I think it'd be cool too if they did like the little like Vacheron logo and like a different color, like maybe instead of like gold or something, like maybe even like a ceramic. I think that'd be cool as hell, like a blue
like a white?
matching, like a blue matching ceramic.
Yeah, if
That
they
matches the
did
dial
like a
color.
ceramic version of this to go against like the ceramic Royal Oak, that would be dope.
I was so hoping that the PRX would have a matching tape disc.
Now we're
That would have been
talking.
funny if it did.
Yeah.
Hey, if the PRX, if you can get an automatic PRX with a patterned dial, I don't even know what the hell they call the pattern, then you can get it in your 222.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, is that a valid argument?
Well, and Gambino just said, for the price of this, think about what you can get. You can get a Day-Date 40 standard dial, or he said he got a dual time overseas for half the price. I mean,
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why aren't you here unboxing that dual time overseas?
yeah, I know.
Just a little hint.
Nate, I'm starting to feel like you don't like us anymore. You don't come on anymore and talk to us.
We love you, Nate.
Hey, and those Gen
We miss
2,
you.
is that a Gen 2 or is the dual time that he has?
I'm not sure.
Gen 3.
Yeah.
I mean, the Gen 2s are really the bargains, right?
Yeah, Yiddish he's still sick, so we're just giving you stuff, man. We understand that you're still not feeling well. We understand. We just have to mess with you every now and then. So yeah, throw it in the chat there, Gambino. The
link.
Just the dual time overseas. What generation is it? What's the year? Maybe that kind of thing. Gen 2.
What's a tapisserie dial?
Another thing that you have to consider with this this bezel, the way it's fashioned, it looks like a Coke bottle, right? It looks like
yeah.
It's going to get dirty. I could tell you this from my overseas. And I wanted to keep this private, but hey, no one's watching, right? It gets between those, the spaced out indents. It gets like dust and or dirt. Like it's you really have to like clean that.
It gets mean cheese in it.
It no matter what you do, it just continue. It just gets that where you don't have if you don't have spaces between the bezel like that. You see those little crevices? What are they called? Like what would you call that?
This right here?
Yep.
Yeah, right in there.
That's a bezel crack, my bro.
Bezel crack.
That's the ass crack of a bezel right there.
Instead of butt crack, it's a bezel.
You don't want to show butt crack on your watch, man.
Yeah.
That's what you got, man. If you buy overseas, you got an ass crack that sticks out.
Get a toothbrush and clean that bezel crack there, buddy.
That's the best blue in the business. Don't you forget it, man. It's the best blue in the business.
You are correct, sir.
Choose this or the 222. I mean,
yeah, I'm going for the dual time.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to not. Even with the black dial.
This is what
16
Yiddish was talking about on the overseas dual time that he just got.
It's nice.
I think it's pretty.
Yeah, but you do have a wart on the dual time here.
Yeah, that's true. Well, isn't that how you set the dual time?
Yeah, of course, but yeah, it's a functional wart, but it's still there.
There are plenty of dual time and GMT watches that use the second crown to set.
I mean, it's almost like a mono pusher, to be quite honest.
I mean, you could have had those little stylus pushers or whatever. You know what I mean?
That would be cool. That would be much cooler.
Get rid of the wart.
But you don't want to, for a GMT, you don't want to have a pusher that you have to carry around or use a toothpick and ruin the mechanism. So I understand why they did it. I don't love it. Personally, it would annoy the shit out of me, but horses for courses,
Yeah.
A lot of things annoy the shit out of me.
Well, everybody, we appreciate you being here this evening. We're going to wrap it up. We've been on an hour and a half, and we thank you for joining us. And we will be back again next Tuesday. We're working on a guest, so we'll preview that the guest will be Jody from Just One More Watch and Erebus Watches, all the way from Australia. Jody's a cool guy. If you don't subscribe to his channel, or you don't know who he is, go check out Just One More Watch. And that's who will be our guest next week, I believe. He's agreed to do it. We're just working out the details now of the exact date, but I believe it's going to be next week. So we will talk to Jody hopefully next week, talk to him about Erebus, talk to him about his channel and how he got into YouTube and what it's like to work at the Sydney Opera House and all of that stuff that we love from Jody. So you guys have a great Tuesday evening. We'll leave you with last year's spot because we're still waiting for this year's commercial. Our friend and yours, Mr. GMT.
Can't beat my meat. Awesome homemade Greek style food. Come and get it. Our awesome Nero. Come and get it. Our big breakfast. Come and get it. Our Wednesday special charcoal pork shifty and souvlaki. Come and get it. Our Thursday special cabbage roll day. Come and get it. And our biggest seller, Souvla Day. Tuesday, Friday, come and get it. And don't forget, in 2024, come and get it and you won't regret it.